For injuries, what you choose to wear, it's actually the most important part because there's so many things that can happen so fast. For instance, the exact reason I actually chose these boots, I used to wear the other kind that just had the steel toe, and what happened is a 3-high popped out and the turnbuckle was still attached. So when it came down, I had to bring it straight down. It broke through my boot, rolled under the steel toe, and crushed 2 of my toes. And it put me out for about 2.5 months while they healed. I'm lucky I didn't lose them. So now with the metatarsal guards, similar situations, you don't have that problem.
The bottom line is that there are only 3 items on the PPE list that lashers must wear for your own safety. High visibility clothing with retro reflective material, appropriate safety shoes, and a hard hat. Other than that, you have a lot of options of what you want to wear in order to work effectively, but more importantly, to be safe on the job.
I've got my coveralls on with my vest, and the reason I wear these coveralls to work is because I can just get up and come to work, whatever I got on, and then I can put these coveralls on. They're loose enough to where I can maneuver, I can bend, I can duck, I can jump if I have to in them. I can avoid things or get out the way quick in them, and overall comfortable. And the vest is, you want to be seen on the waterfront. So the best way to be seen is to have a reflective vest on. Helps the crane operator see you when you're lashing. Also, your partner can pick you up pretty quick if he turns around and to look for you.
I like to wear the lightweight, tend to be the dry fit shirt because they really want you to wear a vest, but when you're lashing, you don't tend to wear a vest because it kind of gets caught on everything, you get pinched.
Up here in Seattle, the weather changes really fast, so I like to layer my clothes, so you can easily take your jacket off, maybe have a sweatshirt underneath. I prefer something with a hood, but in weather like this, I'm not gonna have that many layers on. So just always be prepared for what's gonna come and always be prepared for the worst, because it's easier to pack around your coat than it is to wish you had it.
Unfortunately, you got a sharp edge right here, and this is why I always wear pants on a lash. Sometimes you see guys wearing shorts, which you're not supposed to. That right there, if you're not wearing pants, is gonna cut your leg open. It's not gonna kill you, but it's gonna ruin your night. It's gonna hurt.
I choose to wear coveralls when I'm lashing for freedom. It makes it looser, makes it so I have more options, and I can wear whatever I want underneath it. And when I get done, I take them off, my clothes are clean, and I'm ready to go.
My choice of gloves, I wear the double palm leather gloves. Gempler's a very popular choice among all the lashers. A lot of times the gloves, these will last you about a month. Some gloves will last you 2 days. The cheaper ones will last you 2 days, but I mean, we figured it out. These ones will last you about a month. They're a really good quality glove. Keeps you being protective. As you can see, I mean, I hurt my finger from just from lashing, and I was wearing gloves, so imagine if I wasn't wearing gloves, what would happen to my fingertip?
You want to have a little wrist protection as well, because these will get scraped on turnbuckles and bars and the side of railings. There's little metal rusted all over the place. You'd be amazed how many scrapes. And honestly, these only last me about 2 or 3 shifts, and I have to replace them, so I'll buy them by the dozen, whatever. But it's one of those things when you think about your fingers and your phalange, it's worth the cost. And in fact, I have a smashed knuckle right now. It just happened the other day, but good thing I had my gloves. I might have lost my finger.
I like to wear these Atlas thermal fits up here because there's rubber on the bottom of them, so it keeps the rain off my hands. And then on the inside, they're lined, but not to the point where your hands are gonna sweat too much, but it still keeps them warm and it keeps them protected. And I got smaller hands, so I like something that has a real good grip with my hands so it's not falling off when I'm spinning the buckles or hanging the bars.
Recently I've been using the Hex Armor gloves. I just got introduced to these. These are probably the best gloves I've ever used to lash with. What's different about this glove is the way it's designed is the seams are not only in the palm, but they have them in the fingers as well. And the sides, which I really like, when you snug it down, there's a tab right here that you can pull up.
This right here is paramount. I wear this thing, actually I wear it like a set of gloves for my head. And I prefer this right here. It has a little ratchet mechanism. It's really nice. You put it on, you can tighten it up. It doesn't slip off.
I've always worn my hard hat, not for the big stuff, but for the small stuff, for bumps. when you're moving around the ship and climbing up the ladders and walking underneath low overhangs, you have a real high chance of bumping your head. The thing about this hard hat that I like is it's got a low profile compared to the other hard hats. A lot of the other hard hats sit above your head. This one's kind of, it's a climbing hard hat. Still ANSI approved, but it sits lower on your skull. You don't have this extra buffer where you're hitting your hard hat that you're normally not used to.
I've had a couple accidents before using the other hard hats. Petzl makes a great industrial helmet. Straps all the way around my head. It's vented. If it gets hot, I can, let the air in, or if it's cold, I can put the vents up. The other hard hats, sometimes if you have an accident, I've slipped and fell once, and when I fell, the hard hat came off, the bar popped out, and actually cracked my skull open. I had to get staples, 7 of them. So after that, switch to this one, never take it off.
When I'm lashing, I always wear glasses because you never know what's going to fall from both above you when you're looking up to put your rods in the holes, or what's going to splinter off of these when you hit them. There's plenty of dust and plenty of rust.
I tend to wear a handkerchief, a do-rag, because I don't have the dew. So I get the sweat that drips down in my eyes. These little sweat bands on the hard hats are not quite good enough. And with all the grease around, it can get in your eyes. So I really like to try and keep the bandana to keep all the sweat out of my eyes.
Footwear, I just wear the basic steel toe shoe, but I like to have a lip on it on your heel, because when you're climbing up and down the ladders, the heel can tend to slip, so you have the heel on it to catch.
PPE is one of the most important parts that you can prepare for before you get to the job. Making sure that you have the proper fit of PPE, making sure that you are prepared for what the weather is going to do. That will keep you just as safe as anything else.